Hello, and welcome to the show. Forgive me that I have not done this in a while, but it's okay. Anyways, so a couple weeks ago, I lost my job. I cracked my head open while I was working, and I woke up in the hospital for some odd reason. Tried to get my job back, but they fired me pretty much on the spot. And if you guys want to know what it is, it's called Reservation Outpost. It's in Puyallup or Tacoma, Washington, or whatever. I don't really give a fuck anymore. Anyways, from that point on, I was struggling to pay bills because I recently got let go from another job a couple months previously, and I found that job, but I was only there for a month because I cracked my head open while working, and they fired me a couple days later. But when I got out of the hospital, I decided to take a trip. I decided to leave Washington. I decided to just fucking get out of all the drama, get out of all the bullshit, and just go. And for my luck, as usual, I could not find any jobs on my way down there. I was applying, and I just could not find jack shit. And then, of course, my other luck, too, as well. My fender blew up off my bike, off my motorcycle. And then my tire, on top of that, was about ready to blow up, too. Luckily, I made it to the nearest dealership. Fortunately, they weren't open. It was Monday, and most dealerships are closed Sundays and Mondays. Like, if you go to any motorcycle shop, they're usually closed Mondays and Tuesdays. So, my first time being out in the cold, because I have to manage my money. I have to use my money wisely. I can't just stay in motels every single night. But I did, though. I stayed in a motel a couple nights, but then I realized, like, hey, Kevin, I'm gonna run out of money if I continue doing this. So, I had to periodically manage my money, making sure I spend less, eat less, and make sure I had enough money to even go to campgrounds later on in the future, too. So I slept outside, unfortunately. I slept outside in the cold, but it made no difference. It really didn't. Because the first night on my way to California, I slept in a tent, and it was pouring down rain. So honestly, it wouldn't have affected me as much, because I didn't really care. I already slept out in the rain, I was already cold, and but I was prepared for this. I had all my rain gear, I had my tent that was waterproof, and so I was just gonna keep continuing on. So I was just gonna keep continuing on with the bike ride. So during my stay at the dealership, it was pretty nuts. There was tweakers everywhere. There was people that I did not want to be around, so I made sure I stayed where it would be safe. Fortunately, there was a guy across the street that freaking just came out and freaked out on me, and it was scary sleeping on the street, literally on the street, next to the dealership, right across from some crazy dude that literally was about to beat me up for no reason. But it was okay though. I found another safe spot. Felt safe. I felt comfortable. I felt warm. Fortunately, there was a broken beer bottle right next to me. I couldn't see it because it was pitch black out. I cut my finger open. Fuck's sake, that shit hurt. Motherfuckers leaving glass out. I didn't know what to do. I was bleeding all over the place. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt. I walked to the nearest store. They couldn't really help me. They called an ambulance. I asked for an ambulance too because I wasn't sure if this cut needed stitches or not. It still looks pretty bad, but it's healing up. It's healing up pretty nice. And for those of you who don't know, I left on the 14th of February. So, when I was in California and I stopped at this dealership because my tire was going to blow and everything, when I cut my finger, I went through the paramedics' bullshit. They refused to help me. They just threw me a couple of Band-Aids and just sent me on my way. It's like, okay, whatever. I grabbed all my shit and I moved right in front of the dealership. And I parked my bike right in front of me. That way nobody would put their stinking hands on my bike, my clothes, my tent, my fucking sleeping bag, any of that shit. And I just grabbed my sleeping bag and I just curled up right next to the wall and...
Can you do that out there so I can feel my cord?